All right, we're here again. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Vigilante Williamson here in the 66th episode of my show, the Vigilante Williamson Show. It is October 18th, Monday, October 18th. I hope everyone's having a happy Monday. I'm trying, just started mine. Sorry for another late start. It's been rough getting these things done, started on time and done on time. Tried to start a little earlier, still kind of an earlier start from what we've been doing. The first few episodes were at around noon. Then we slid into like a 1:30 sort of time slot, trying to go a little earlier so I can get the whole show out. Because I feel like I've been rushing towards the end because we do have a hard stop at 3. Shout out to Rough Girl, doing a modulante thing before. Please sub, and not only sub, hit the notifications because there's going to be a lot of clips and obviously this stream, a lot of stuff posted. So I really would appreciate if you're into the channel, which I know a lot of you guys are. Please make sure notifications are not that you're just sub, which make sure you're still sub. But make sure you have notifications. Just want to toss that out there. Thank you, Rough Girl. Shout out to Brightest Day, whose channel is growing. Also, whose channel's honestly kind of stopped by the algorithm. Wookie Supremacy, aka now Pope Chewbacca Cabres the Fourth. Hell Cinching Dildo. It says up to the colonizers. Buzz. We got a lot to talk about. And actually, a lot of this stuff, what we're going to talk about is centered on just the breaking of the supply chain. Like we'll talk about that affecting schools, but in general, the supply chain. If you, I'm not sure, everyone here is not on the state from the states. I obviously got my Croatian brother, sent you dildo. But if you are in America, surely the past 20 months, especially, but very recently, you've noticed the shortages of supplies. No matter what it is, whether it's food, paper supplies, paper towel, toilet paper, stuff like that. Whatever it is, the past 20 months, the past few months especially, I know there's been spots in that this nightmare we call the post-COVID world. But you've undoubtedly noticed shortages, stuff, empty shelves, and that's not gonna get any better. That's not getting better. And I don't want to talk. I feel like you guys know enough about me, but this is close to what I do in my day job, and I'm seeing this firsthand. I don't see how this gets any better. I just don't. But I figured I'd do some reporting on it, and I even have, instead of memes of the day, I have a couple of interesting. I guess these are technically TikToks, even though I'm getting them from YouTube. But some interesting things going on with that. Our supply chains affect 24 karat branded properly. Oh Lord, did Biden say that? Because our supply chain's fucked. The worker shortage, the everything. This is a nightmare. This seems like the end of civilization because it in fact feels like civilization is cracking. As a fat fuck who constantly goes to fast food restaurants, seeing that whole industry crack. I don't see how we're gonna have fast food in a few months or in a few years. Because I don't see how you'll be able to pay enough workers to actually do it. And the foods, and how are they going to get supplies to even run those restaurants? I don't know. You know what I mean? There's shortages there. There's just shortages everywhere. So we'll get into some of that stuff. And then we're actually going to start in the entertainment sphere. Actually, let me see if there's anything else I want to cover. Nah, there's nothing new. Okay, just want to give a quick check. But there is something I did want to talk about. Comicsgate. Something I've never really touched too much on. As I've mentioned before, one of the very first streams, in fact, I think it is the first stream I appeared on outside of my own channel, was on a channel called Sweetcast. And I guess you would consider that guy Comicsgate. I'm not sure. So when I came into this whole YouTube thing and I'd heard Comicsgate, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't even understand it. At first, I thought it was like an independent company. Then I realized, no, it's like a movement thing. Um, and Essential Dildo brings up a pretty good point. Civilized society is always 3 meals away from collapsing. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're less than 3. We're probably 1 meal away. They're probably already there, honestly. But Commonsgate, I didn't really know what they were. I thought they may be a company. No, it's a movie. Oh, okay. And I had nothing but positive experience. Still have to this point nothing but positive experiences. And they're just it's similar to everything else. It's media, it's this, that, and the third. They're not a hate group, and I believe these things, right? I do believe that Commonsgate is not a hate group, and a lot of media and a lot of mainstream companies, whether it is the big 2 comic companies or the media that follows them or panders to them, have given Comicsgate a bit of a bad rap. However, in saying that, I've also heard rumors that, hey, there's some people, if you fuck with in Comicsgate, they'll dox you, they'll ruin your life, they'll do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, shit, maybe some of this, hate, it has some warrant to it, if this is the case, right? If there is this toxic element that exists, again, have I had any personal exposure? No, not at all. It just comes from people in the community, the fellowship. And actually, I got to give what to. No, it was what to Loose Can. Wait, it ain't the same person. Loose Can 84 said alliance. I like alliance a lot better. I think we're an alliance. I don't think we're a community or a fellowship. We're an alliance. But I've heard somebody in the group, whatever, say, hey, yeah, some of those comments, like, yeah, if this certain group, I forgot what the name of the group was called, within Comicsgate, like a subgroup. But if you fuck with them, you'll get doxxed. And it's like, really? And it was associated with a fairly major figure in the Comicsgate sphere. So I'm not saying this to slander them based upon rumor and innuendo. I'm just saying this to say, yeah, I have heard that element of it. That said, when you look at this rumor where DC is threatening to blacklist any freelancer associated with Comicsgate, that doesn't make it right just because there are a few bad apples that may exist. I feel like it's my job to be as objective as possible to say, yeah, there may be indeed some fuckery, but I don't think that's the majority of Comicsgate. I think the majority of people who call themselves Comicsgate or are affiliated with it are coming from the interest of just wanting good stories, and that's it. Are there some people that apparently are a part of it that take it too far and that go a little bit above and beyond? Maybe, but is it to the extent where you need to threaten any freelancer that was working with them when you can barely keep people staffed, just like any other job? In the case of DC, you now have Substack, you have the crowdfunding route, you have independence, you have all these things that a creator doesn't really want to go with DC. And to be fair, a lot of them probably will get paid more doing a Comicsgate comic or independent comic than they will a DC comic. I'm sure a lot of people are getting paid just as much, if not more, to do some of the EVS stuff, the Rippaverse stuff, the individuals working on that, than they would have gotten at DC or Marvel, which pays worse than DC. So if you're going to blacklist any freelancer associated, and what does that mean? You know what I mean? We saw what happened with Jay Lee. Was it last year? You guys don't remember? Jay Lee's an artist, great comic artist, did some work for EVS, and that got Tom King's panties in a bunch. And then he went and tried to fuck up Jay Lee's career. This is almost a formalization of that. You do a cover, you do something for the wrong type of person, and you're blacklisted from DC Comics. So like, that's to me seems fucked up. But since you dildo's right, they are kind of they're bent on digging their own grave. And hell, Sherry, I appreciate you being here, Sherry. Thanks. And hell, Fimmer, it's been a while. Been a long time. Appreciate you being here. Yeah. Chat is amazing. The chat is amazing. So thank you everyone for showing up. So let's read through this. Let's read through the rumor and see what's going on. See what's what. Again, not trying to hold water for Comicsgate to say that there's never been some fuckery from anyone associated with it. But this seems like a stretch, especially when you consider some of the big projects that have been associated with Comicsgate. To ban every freelancer from your company just seems crazy. But this is a rumor. This is not confirmed. This is rumor and innuendo. Take it with a grain of salt. Jesus, lifetime ban. I can't conceive of this rumor being completely true, even if it is meant to be true. But all right, let's get to it. According to a new rumor, DC Comics is reportedly threatening any freelancer who's caught partnering with Comicsgate in any capacity with the lifetime ban from working with the publisher. Let's get all these ads and stuff. Word of DC supposedly new anti-Comicsgate policy was first made public by Shelley Leprezzi, wife of veteran comic book artist Aaron Leprezzi, who himself made a turn towards Comicsgate after an appearance on EVS's live stream, made in promotion with the crowdfunding campaign for his original series, Wrath of God. I did hear a little bit about this a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, this Wrath of God thing. Earned a deluge of condemnation from contemporary comic professionals and audiences. On October 14th, Shelley took to her personal Twitter to reveal, as if we needed any other reason to boycott DC Comics, they're now threatening their freelancers that if they do any work associated or any work for anyone associated with Comicsgate, they'll never work for DC again. They're not on contract. DC should have no say. Woke business model. Also, not sure if that's legal from an independent contractor standpoint. I just thought about that as I read that. It's not legal. You can't do that, can you? I mean, I'm not no private companies, but you can't tell if you are contracting somebody out. You cannot tell them who to work for. As a just this rule. You if you're, I know if you're a wrestling fan, an independent contractor shit doesn't matter there. But if somebody's working on your house, you can't tell them not to work on somebody else's house. That's just not how it works. And most of the people, not most, there are employees at DC, but a lot of those freelancers are just that, freelancers and independent contractors. So I don't think you're legally allowed to tell them who to work for. I honestly think not everybody wants to get a lawyer involved, and lawyers aren't cheap. And going against DC, you don't know if they're going to get their big brother lawyers involved. But man, I really don't know how legal that is, this ban, from an independent contractor standpoint. Employees maybe differently, but contractors, I don't think you can do this. In one response to another user who asked, why would Comigators care? Shelley stated that she cares about the issue because this is going what I'm saying. DC should not be dictating who you can work for as a freelancer. They did not say freelancers couldn't work for Marvel either. She further disclosed, suggesting DC's decision is based more on a personal dislike of Comicsgate than a non-competition philosophy. If they want exclusive, then they should pay them to be. Exactly. You have to pay for that. You can't do that to an independent contractor. You have to at least put them on the contract and give them the money to compensate them for something like that. I care for those who need to work in a community that DC and Marvel is killing. Agreed with that. And I don't want to mispronounce her name. We call her Shelley Leprezzi. As for how Shelley was made aware of DC's new rule, she and Aaron were allegedly told by two individuals who currently freelance for the publisher, though she unfortunately felt that it was not her place to say who. That is up to them, she explained. I have no reason to lie about it. It does not impact my family, but we care about others, and it's a horrible thing to do. As of this writing, Aaron does not appear to have publicly commented on the information presented in Shelley's tweets. What do you make? Okay, that's the call to action. So I did hear about this Wrath of God thing. Is there more on it? Let's see what Bounty has more. There was a lot of shit. Oh no, this is just the advertising for the graphic novel, which you should definitely check out. You know, we're definitely all about like if Fish shows up, we'll promote Goofanoid again. See some. I have seen people supporting his project. So what do I think about this? After reading through that, I don't know how legal it is. Not that it always matters, because we know the law doesn't matter anymore. So I don't know how legal it is. I also I don't think it's right, man. I mean, I think this is some cutting the nose off to spite your face, because a lot of talented individuals are quote unquote associated with Comicsgate. So I think DC's going to marvel themselves where they're going to have to rely on really cheap, really woke labor, really idealistic labor, because or ideologue labor, very cheap labor, very young labor, and just like Marvel, um, kind of kick away any experienced artist and writer, because the climate for keeping top tier talent is just not there in comics. There's no way. It's very hard for the big two to keep their top tier talent. It's never been harder. Comics gate aside, rather you're talking about, it's more of the crowdfunding element. That's the thing that Comicsgate to me is most known for, and the ability for a creator to independently crowdfund their project, or ability for a creator to go with an image, or go with a different company who will allow them more control and more compensation relative to their sales for their own independent work. I just don't see this is a good idea for DC. As far as quality, if the goal is to make quality product, this was not a good idea. But I don't know if that's DC's goal. Their goal could be just to make propaganda. So let's see what you guys have to say. Pope Chewbacca Cabris the fourth, aka Wookiee Supremacy. Who cares? Blacklisted from a company that sucks. Anyway, big deal. Again, I mean, a lot of people. If you're a comic pro, you don't want a whole company shut off. And my assumption, given how incestuous this industry is that once something like that happens at DC, there's probably a similar thing going on at Marvel. So that's my assumption for that. And we got you guys saying hi to one another. See what else Wookie has to say. DC and Marvel stinks worse than dog shit, and they know it. They're lashing out at CG for exactly why these artists are part of CG in the first place. You can take your job and shove it. Up yours, crappy DC and Marvel artists. Your work sucks. Yeah, a lot of it does suck. For a while, if you guys, since shout out to Fenrir the Ice Wolf, used to do a show called The Brave and the Bold. We used to do that shit every Saturday, right? And one of the running jokes is I kept tossing Captain Marvel. Do you guys remember the poorly drawn Captain Marvel? We'll call back to that joke. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find old Carol, this old poorly drawn motherfucker. This is what Marvel. This is what mainstream comics is producing anyway. So it's not good. It's not good. It's actually, I see it. I found the clownfish cover, but it'll work. Image new tab. Jesus. So yeah. Remember this? Do you remember this? This was a mainstream Marvel comic. This is a mainstream major Marvel comic artist who drew this. So their artists aren't exactly, you talk about these mainstream comics, the big two, they're not exactly they're not putting in their best effort, their best work. Who is that supposed to be? What's going on? Like, how could that be mainstream art? Who cares? Honestly, at this point, being blacklisted by DC and Marvel gives you a better chance of success if you go private on your own. Yeah, I do too. I'm so busy, I don't know if I can do it anymore. And agreed. Yeah, beautiful art is an essential deal, though. And hell, just another red shirt. He's not just another red shirt. He's the red shirt and fish Chozo. Speak of the Chozo, and he shall appear. We were just talking about you because we're talking about independent comics. Shout out to, if you haven't supported Goofanoid, please do. It's drawn better than this. I can objectively say that. I can objectively say that. The bright side makes my stuff incredible. You got a hell to a red shirt from Cinch and Dildo. But yeah, it's better than this. So back to the story. Back to this. I will answer the questions. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They're dying anyway. And I don't disagree with that. They are dying anyway. I think mainstream comics is all but dead. I think the independent comic industry is the comic industry now. But mainstream comics still make up a major market share. That's just the reality. Even if that market share is dwindling, with the success of things like King Spawn and Berserker, as far as non-mainstream or even The Last Ronin, being comic books outside of the big two that sell, tons and tons and tons. But most of the comics sold, American comics, not manga, because most of the comics sold in this country are manga, but most of the comics sold that are American made are come from DC and Marvel. So now that they're banning one of the biggest kind of independent movements, it's still crappy. It's still shitty. Even if, again, I've heard some rumors, I've heard some stuff about certain sects of Comicsgate, but I don't think that's the majority. And I think this is the Jay Lee thing. This is what happened with Tom King and Jay Lee, and this is the formal version of this. The Owen Wilson nose. It says I don't know what was going on with that nose. The engine room, as far as the red shirt. I see what you're talking about. I see what's going on. But yeah, I think it sucks for those creators, man. It sucks for people who are trying to feed their family. It really sucks for individuals who are trying to feed their family and earn money with this art form. Especially if you're trying to do so exclusively as a comic book pro. This now shuts off a source of income for freelancers. So I think, don't get me wrong, there will definitely be freelancers who think twice about working with Comicsgate because they have to pay their bills. There's just not enough at this point, independent Comicsgate enough projects that if you're not involved in it, if you're EVS, if you're what's my man name, Peter Samedi, I believe the guy's name is. I'm sorry, you guys correct me. That your boy Zach, if you're a big comics gator, so to speak, you're fine. But if you're just a freelance artist and now the big two are saying you can't work with us if you work with them, that is gonna make some people think twice. Now, if you're an artist like shout out to Fish Chozo, shout out to a lot of the people who've made comics, are individuals that maybe drew before, but never in a professional capacity. So then you wouldn't care. You're like, well, I was never going to get to DC anyway. I'm going to do my own thing. But for those pros who are part of the system, so to speak, I do think it'll affect their decision making. And I do also think this is fucked up. And I don't necessarily think this is legal because I don't think you can tell an independent contractor what to do. Real quick, I want to say what's up to one rough, just rough girl. Got name changes and stuff. Everyone's switching their brand. And shout out to boom, 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 boom. Sorry for the singing. Not quite Bone Thugs and Harmony. Less thugs, less harmony. Less bones either. Yeah, they are losing a war. Mainstream comics are losing market share, like I said, not just to the indie go-goers and the comics gators and the crowd funds, but to other indies, to the and even brand recognition. Yes, you have the MCU, but something like The Boys, that's a comic book, or something like Invincible, that's a comic book, and that's just as known to normies as anything else. So yeah, they're losing. This is the American Comics Gate, or the American comics industry is under a shift. So we'll see what this does. We'll see what this does long term. I think a lot of people who are in the Comics Gate community or fellowship or alliance, whatever they like to be called, this might invigorate them and get them going. But it's going to suck for some pros. Definitely. There's going to be some pros. We're going to have some tight pockets either way. Because if you choose DC, yeah, they pay better than Marvel, but you're still probably not going to get paid that much. So the money was being able to do whatever you want and make money from multiple companies, whether it's a independent Comicsgate company, an independent company unrelated to Comicsgate, or or DC and Marvel. So now one of those is shut out. So that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, it's a miracle Monday. It's a miracle I woke up Monday. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, and support the chat. Please support the chat. And again, notifications, likes, shares, all that good stuff. Speaking of let's go, Brandon, let's get into this damn supply chain shit. So this is coming from the evil industrial indoctrination complex, aka the school system. But this is not just a school system thing. This is a countrywide, if not worldwide, issue. This is scary stuff. You have this worker shortage, and we'll actually talk a little bit about that. We have quote unquote trucker shortage. We have different regulations in certain states. We have just a clusterfuck, a perfect storm, so to speak. And I don't know how this solves. I don't know how this maths. I don't know how this works. We definitely need the end of this. The state pays people more money not to work than to work situation to relieve itself. There's no doubt about that. But there are other issues. That's probably the major issue, obviously. But this seems scary. Actually, let's see what you guys have to say. Then we'll go hardcore into this. Too many pink hair scumbags writing trash, telling everyone not to buy it. Great business plan. Who wants to work for them anyway? I mean, a lot of people. Was it Zach who said he felt like he got pushed out of a burning building? And just another red shirt says he watched Rough Girl's first video. Thanks to the fellowship or alliance or community or whatever we want to call it. All right. Supply chain woes hit school cafeterias, leaving administrators scrambling to make meals. Supply chain shortages hitting the entire country are leaving school cafeterias short of items, from utensils to syrup packets. And this is just very disturbing, man. We have a generation of kids who are going to grow up with this shit. Fuck me. Just the plastic dividers and all this shit. Because that's gonna help a fucking thing, man. This shit, like sometimes I see this shit, whether it's the mask, whether it's this, and it's like this is just for scare tactics. This is just for fear, because this is not like helpful. This is so the mental effect of how disturbing this is being made normal as far as these blockades, which is not the story we're talking about. It's just me observing this picture. But the mental effects of this type of shit and this being made normal far outweigh the few physical benefits that they probably don't even provide. Labor Party is just as bad as libtards here. Companies in the UK now offer 3 times the salary for truckers. Wow. Hey, who knew the sauce was flowing? OG, Triple X OG. Hey, VW. In the meantime, trucker shortage in the UK was blamed on Brexit by the left wingers. Of course. Obviously, those alt-righters who wanted to leave the European Union. How dare they not want where's the country that actually runs the European Union? How dare some bloke in Brixton not want some asshole in Sweden to impact his life? How dare he? And they ruined all the truckers because of it, because of their bigotry. Nah, it's not that. This is Germany. Okay, thank you, brother. So some asshole in Frankfurt or something running some bloke in Brixton's life. And yeah, all parties are retarded. They consist of politicians. Politicians are the worst humans on this earth. Seriously. All right. Let's get into this. Turkey for tacos, chicken products, orange juice, and meal trays, just a few of the items. Shonia Hall, Director of Nutrition Services for Oklahoma City Public Schools, said she cannot find. Lay is victim of the supply chain slowdown. That's actually tab because I really want to talk about the supply chain, not just because it's actually a draw up, but because it's scary. I've been wondering the past 6 months at work, like, wait, how does this work? What are we going to do when there's like a massive product shortage? We've seen those goddamn boats that are ruining my real life, all piled up at a lot of these ports and internally, even inside the country. A lot of shit isn't going to be able to move because of truckers. Even though we got a video on what's really happening with the show the uh, the port thing. We'll show something in Tacoma in a second. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, the cost of getting something out of China has gone astronomical. The difficulty in getting it actually into a warehouse and a store has gotten even more incredible. This is going to get really ugly. This is my thought as a worker, and now we're starting to see this get a little bit more ugly uh, day by day. It's just a worker in the supply chain system. I'm just like, this can't work. This can't work. This cannot work. All right. Let's see. Latest victim of the supply chain slowdown is a school cafeteria leading nutrition administrators. That's a weird phrase. Fuck administrators. Scrambling to get proper meals on the table for students as they return to the classroom. A few weeks ago, Hall's distributors could not get sporks or spoons, and she had to run to her local Sam's Club to buy 60,000 of each to help get us through a few days in hopes that the truck will show up. We just can't hope. We have to be proactive. I can't feed kids without utensils, right? Well, that's cool and nice of her, all shit aside. Such shortages are being forced to turn such shortages and being forced to turn to retail stores to fill the void when distributors don't come are becoming more prevalent in schools all across the country. In addition, it's an additional cost to your budget, to your program, said Hall, who asked that she's grateful that the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National School Lunch Program has increased its reimbursement to schools trying to meet meal demands. And the crunch is coming at an unprecedented time for school lunches. The meal service waivers, known as the seamless summer option, have been extended through June 22nd. The waivers allow for school meals to be schools to offer meals free of charge to students. Republican in Congress have been critical of the proposal made by Democrats to make universal free meals permanent because of the potential high price tag. Like I said, I really think you should get your kids out of the public school system. That's another can of worms. Just this week, President Joe Brandon announced three of the largest U.S. good carriers, Walmart, FedEx, and UPS, will up their efforts to address supply chain issues after retailers have already begun warning that some products may not make it to the shelves before the holidays. They can only do so much. These carriers, obviously Walmart being a company, retailer as well, but they can only do so much. Supply chain issues, they can't solve them by themselves. Never again should our country and our economy be so unable to make critical products that we don't need because we don't have access to materials for that product. Well, if you didn't give away all our jobs, we'd have more manufacturers, Brandon. Logistical backups and shipping points driven in part by worker shortages have doubled. I'm not going to read this line because that's not been really the issue. It's been worker shortages. Have doubled the time it takes for some products to make it their way. Well, you know what? COVID outbreaks have actually impacted stuff in Asia and the way they've interacted because they still shut things down over there. Different countries, not just China, but whether it's coming out of Singapore and the Philippines, I think did something. They've had some shutdowns in different Asian countries, so I guess COOF has definitely impacted that. Well, we're struggling, we can't get food, but we're having outages and shortages, says Stephanie Dillard, child nutrition director at Enterprise City Schools in Alabama. School district has dealt with inconsistent deliveries of food, supplies like trays, utensils, which is an added layer of stress on the school staff who are coming back from a year of mostly remote learning due to the COOF pandemic. See how much more. That's pretty. We'll read the last part. Then we'll see what you guys have to say, and then we'll kind of get into some more stuff relating to the supply chain. Just checking the time. All right, we're doing pretty good because we started early. Every week, everybody is holding their breath, not knowing whether we're going to get a truck or not, because we don't know if there's going to be truck drivers or we don't know if there's going to be employees in a distributor's warehouse, said Diller said in the interview. Schools served almost 500 million lunches on average per month. Holy smokes. Wait a second, 500 million lunches on that per month. Okay, I'm sorry. My brain shut down for a second. Between September 2018 and May 2019, basically the school year the last full school year before the pandemic. The number dropped during the pandemic to around 330 million lunches per month, according to the USDA. Besides allowing higher reimbursement rates, the USDA is also giving schools more leeway when it comes to meeting the meal guidelines and extending the nationwide waiver through the 21-22 school year to make all meals free of charge. Brenton Lexvold, a food service director for the Red Wing Public Schools in Minnesota, says he sees a 62% participation in the school lunch program and says see the increase in the breakfast participation. But if schools can't consistently deliver food, they have told students and parents is in the menu. He worries families won't trust them to provide the meal. Sometimes the customer are taking a gamble, like, do I eat school lunch today, or am I packing something from home? Well, you should probably pack something from home after this. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything more relevant, but we'll get to the next couple paragraphs. I feel like I'm rambling. Chat commander. I don't know if I'm a chat commander, rough girl. But thank you. Thank you. The food service distribution industry has an estimated 17,500 warehouse positions and 15,000 driver positions currently open. Remember, this is the food service distribution industry. That's not every other supply chain distribution position. According to the International Food Service Distributors Association, in a recent survey of trade associates members, 100% of respondents indicated it was difficult or extremely hard to find both warehouses and drivers. It is. The industry has been experiencing what experts call the bullwhip effect, where companies have pulled back their operations, seek to rapidly scale up with demand surges, leaving suppliers scrambling to keep up. Megan Cieslak, the association's communications director. In terms of school delivery delays, our members are working as hard as possible to get schools the supplies they need, Cieslak said. Product shortages having the biggest impact should get better. In the short term, the labor shortages impacting both schools and the food service supply chain will remain a concern. While these shortages are affecting the entire country, hit on the school meals is particularly important because at the end of the day, they don't give a kid nutrition meal. I'm reading this shit no, fucking. There's a hard argument, especially my generation, where there was like so much vending machines, candy, sugar, pizza. Like Pizza Hut would deliver to my school. One of my schools I went to, Papa John's a different one. So it's like we're not getting nutritious meals, and there's a very good argument that so much of the obesity in this country comes from the school lunch program and a bunch of people like my fat ass learning a bunch of fucked up eating habits from our time in school. So I don't know about nutritious meals. But my point of talking about this was not necessarily the specifics of the prison indoctrination complex, aka the education system. It was just more of this is a canary in the coal mine situation. And a lot of you guys probably already aware of the supply chain stuff. So I've rambled enough. Let's see what you guys are screaming about. Whoa, you guys are really going. So yeah, we thank you for All Thinker, aka Noble Iro on Twitch, corrected me about who runs the EU because we were talking about the Brexit thing. That some bloke in Frankfurt, some asshole in Frankfurt can destroy some bloke in Brixton's life because of the EU. And then when Brexit happens, then all of a sudden everything's blamed on that. So again, not sure I'm a chat commander, but I like the comment. It makes me feel special. So yeah, please check out my stuff. Yeah, and feel free to super chat. We do accept super chats even though we're not monetized. So feel free to do so if that's your thing. Yeah, Germany did kind of end up winning World War II, didn't they? When you look at how much infiltration they had with America, you look at where they are now as far as their position in the world. There's an argument to be made, right? And hey, let's be honest, a lot of the globalists were paying both sides. Oh, the funny mustache was a fucking Rothschild. Allegedly, he was a fucking Rothschild illegitimate kid. So he was himself or you know what, Jewish. I can't think I can say Jewish. I don't know. EU the fourth rank. Yeah, Commander, chat commander Mirashat. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I never heard anyone in the right pushes for P3DOs. Who does? Both parties. Get the fuck out of there with that bullshit. That's fair. That P3DO is far left. That normalization. That remember that TED talk. What was the? And they had the little girl with the sad voice trying to make you feel for the creeper. So yeah, I would say that P3DO is probably this. But I'm not a party guy, bro. If you think the people, these rhinos give a fuck about you, man, I got a bridge of Brooklyn. I'm not saying I'm not somebody who says they're necessarily equivalent in their negativity as far as the both sides thing. Both sides suck, but both sides do suck. Because those listen, a lot of those rhinos, even if they're not saying it in public, the what's that fucker's name? Motherfucker ran for president, Romney. You trust that motherfucker? Even the Ted Cruz's of the world. You trust these fuckers? I don't. Not saying they're P3DOs. I don't have a high regard for these people myself. Check them out. Yeah, I don't know about that. Just quiet about it. Yeah, listen, some of those rhinos are going to the same eyes wide shut parties. Trust me. Supply crisis, is that why petrol and cat food have gotten expensive? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And more stuff is going to get more expensive and it's going to be harder to get, especially your electronics. Get your electronics while you can now. It's going to be impossible to get them in the next 6 to 8 months. I'm telling you. Especially since China's going through an economic crisis and they say communism works. Yeah, it doesn't. Absolutely does not work. Wookie, there are conservatives who goes to these eyes wide shut parties. There are conservatives who, I'm telling you, they exist. I'm not saying that they're outward about it. I'm not saying they're doing the shit. Like I said, the far left is the one pushing the normalization of that shit. We see that with cuties. We see that with Netflix. That's why I went so hard Netflix on Saturday. Like everyone's, oh, Netflix, they're based because of Dave Chappelle. Like they fucking peddle child porn, motherfucker. Like, no, they're not based. They're evil megacorp. I'm telling you, there's some motherfuckers who go to those eyes wide shut parties. You talk about politicians, not regular people. Yeah, not regular people. Not like you and I. I'm talking about like the actual. That's what I'm saying. I'm with Stitch Dildo. Yeah, not like random, just some random couple of Missouri with an eyes wide shut party. No, I'm talking about like the decision makers. Don't trust the decision makers. When I call back conservatives, it is not conservative individuals. It's like when I call back liberal, not liberal individuals. It is these decision makers. It's the motherfuckers in power, so to speak, or the puppets in power. We'll call them puppets in power. Law, got a law. I can see Dems are attempting to gaslight Americans by telling them that comedy is booming. Just look at all the containers waiting to be offloaded. We will do that soon. We will do that almost next. Actually, let's see what's the next article. The next article just talks generically about the supply chain. But we can see some of the video of those. These things are ruining my regular life. I'm telling you, these fucking containers. But yeah, the economy is not booming. The economy is oh my god, inflation's about to hit. There's people say, oh, we need inflation because they know there's no way out of it. Who knew the song? My first saw the biology video yesterday. Sad thing, I have a friend who will fall for a hook, line, and sinker. That's sad. I don't see how you can listen to anything the establishment says about anything and believe it. Right and left, it doesn't exist for politicians. Agreed. They're all the same page with exceptions. Red and blue is only for us to keep us divided or giving us the illusion of freedom. That's basically what I'm trying to say, Wookie. You get it. You get it. I'm the CEO of the chat. Still think this is pretty high praise, but I appreciate it, rough girl. I appreciate it. For real, Wookie. That's what we're getting at. That's what we're getting at. Obi-Wan was right about politicians in episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Hey, Morgan Holloway. It's been a long time. Appreciate you being here. hard argument. Oh boy. Such a deal with the hard R. It got us up to Morgan. Almost 20 years ago, Boston College emeritus professor Anglo Codavilla wrote the two parties were ruling us, politicians and bureaucrats. The two parties were ruling two parties were the ruling party, politicians and bureaucrats, and the country party, us. Ah, that's interesting. So the two parties is us and them. I don't necessarily disagree. In fact, I would say that's kind of the thing I push. These politicians, even if you agree with what they purport to be, purport to push ideologically, they are not on your side. Just like the police, and allow y'all back to blue. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all do what you want, but just know they are not on your side. Some may be, some individuals may be, but as a whole, they're not on your side. So you cannot have that just generic what is it? Just that rah default go with them just because the leftists are crazy logic. That's going to get you in some trouble. That's going to get you in some trouble. Let's read some more comments, then we'll show some more about the supply chain. Look up Peter Hitchens. The EU is the continuation of Germany by other means. It's a terrific piece. That is something to check out. Yeah, dialed in, dropping knowledge. There we go. I'm trying to. That was a typo. Apologize that. iPad trying out new features. No worries. The globalists always pay. I like that. They absolutely do play and pay both sides. Absolutely do. Absolutely do. Yep. EU is the creation of the corporatist side of the Yahtzee regime. When they realized they can't win the war, they shifted their focus to economic union. Yeah, Rough Girl saying, hey, look at you going super mod. You don't have to go so hard as a mod, Rough Girl. I appreciate it, though. You can, though. I appreciate it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just like, because I look at like modding as hard as someone who did, I mentioned Sweetcast. I was a mod, and I could not do it. And so I feel for people who are trying to mod. And so you're going really hard. I appreciate you, Rough Girl. Really do. Really do. And you really don't miss a VW stream. A lot of you don't miss our streams. You guys are awesome, man. This is his own community, its own fellowship, its own alliance. We do appreciate your support. You absolutely do. Absolutely. So this is gonna be primarily on the supply chain this episode. Is Brandon right here. This is the Port of LA. Oh, lovely Port of LA. Let's just see some video of this. Oh, Jesus. What the fuck is this? You don't need to stop telling us what to do. Let's run off these commercials first, and then we'll just see some footage of these ports. And I know you've all seen it. They're making me watch this whole commercial. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. These whores are making me watch this whole fucking commercial. I don't even know what it's for because my headphones are off. What a bunch of bitches. There's no other way to put it. They asked me to watch the whole fucking commercial. Oh boy. Okay, I'll find my strength tempo. Jesus. Real quick, Morgan Holloway says, hey everyone, hail everyone, tuning in from the factory, working hard. Limited audio for the burst, limited to audio. No worries. This works as a podcast, and I need to get this shit on different podcast platforms. I'm just so lazy. It is just so tired. Let's see some of this this report. Look at this shit. I don't want to see. You know what else? I'm actually going to mute this because I've gotten so many damn claims. I just kind of want to show you this. We've all seen this footage of these boats. It's just this isn't even this is terrible B-roll. I'm looking for some dope stuff. And yeah, the price of goods is going to be sky high. It's way more ships than that. Yep. Some of those ships have been abandoned too. Not abandoned completely, but if you're a captain of a ship and you fucking travel to China, and you're sitting in the water. Yeah, there's some containers with way more than that. Wonder how many of those containers I'm gonna have to deal with at work, like those actual individual ones. That's half true. When it comes to LA, our lovely liberal friends in LA have the different emission requirements in LA or in California are different than the rest of the country. So that means not every truck can even be used. So that there's that issue. So it's not just truckers, it's the individual trucks. And by the way, is it even true? The truck thing? This is a guy on TikTok. This is his truth. This is what he's seeing. Now, this is in Tacoma. This is not in LA Long Beach area. Uh let me see. Said, dude, I got a notification from Twitch. I could hear you. Yet the chat wouldn't connect. That's cool that you got a notification from Twitch. That's cool you got a notification at all. I'm sure you didn't get one from YouTube because none of my notifications go off from YouTube. The anchor container shifts are what happens when just-in-time ordering runs into a economic slowdown. I've always wondered why customers will order stuff they needed so late. Mr. Old Wild West Internet, you and me both. You and me both. Oh, there was no audio. Oh, there's no audio. That's fine that there was no audio. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for that catch. I end up turning the audio off halfway through and to talk over it to just kind of show what happens. So you're here on YouTube. That was boober, but it worked out. So happy there's a place my name is not blue. Body can get taxing. I swatted more bonds in a half hours on Salty last street. Yeah, you buy for Salty. That's insane. I forgot. I forget. I've mentioned it before. Swatted more bonds in a half an hour on Salty's last stream that I have anywhere on YouTube. I was the first person to make you a bot and give advice. And yeah, we're both in North Carolina. I'm not from North Carolina. I don't think you are either. Yeah, we are both in North Kakalaki. So yeah, man. Hey, I'm always here if you need any advice. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the hell out your support, and I appreciate you being a modulante because I know you will do it. Wake up a lot of people will chip in with the mod stuff. None of you have to, man. I'm so happy just to see you guys just in the chat, just fucking with me, talking to me. So I really appreciate that. Bro, the next economic will hit so hard 2008 will look like nothing. Absolutely. This is neo-feudalism is next. That's a tragedy. And this is on purpose, gearing us up to screw us this winter. You notice they keep talking about the winter? Didn't that demon Kamala say something about the winter? Like, this is on purpose. The globalists are doing this on purpose. California just taking almost half of the current fleet of trucks off the road to placate the Greens. Yes, they have. Just another red shirt. Yes, they have. So that's adding to this element. And we're going to show this trucker to come watch this, show you what's really happening at these damn ports. Trolls. Swatted trolls. Okay. I see what you were saying now. They were like the mods were turning on you. We know what you meant, and I hear you. Modding on FNT is labor of love. Yeah, those are both insane amounts because Salty can get really lots and lots of people in his streams as well. Those are incredible amounts of people in those streams for you guys to be modding. And those at least love feudalism. They love because they're worthless pieces of shit with self-esteem issues at the end of the day. They're shit eaters. They're literal shit eaters who have very bad self-esteem issues. So the only way they can handle any of it is to ruin everyone else's life and ruin them, make them less so they can feel like they have more. Because they're really shitty. So this is what's happening at a lot of these ports. On top of everything we just mentioned, on top of California, and they're going to California and fucking up a lot of their trucks. the trucker shortage and the worker shortage that naturally exists because of the state. Everything is state involved, by the way. Again, the globalists did this. Because of everything that's gone on with the benefit situation, the entitlement situation over the past 20 months. But on top of all that, on top of everything that's happening with shipping overseas, but their restrictions and stuff like that affecting stuff here. On top of all that, you have this, and hopefully the sound works this time. I do want you to hear what this guy has to say. Play. This is at Tacoma, Washington. That's also a port, and this is a trucker there. Hopefully you see all those trucks. Hear what my man's saying. Hopefully you can see in the back. Let's make this bigger. So they're literally waiting for containers that are not coming off those ships. So on top of everything, they're not even fucking working the ports. Oh no, we're not reviewing Windows 11. Jesus. They're not even offloading these motherfuckers. If you couldn't hear what he was saying, and he was very low, and I'm sorry about that because I'm sorry for the silence. He was pointing out, here's all these trucks, here's all these trucks, and then you look, there's cranes that are not moving. Those cranes should be offloading boats, and they're not offloading boats. So there's all these truckers waiting to get containers, waiting to get stuff that won't get offloaded from the boat because they're not offloading anything. So on top of everything that's going on, they're not even offload. A lot of cases, they're just not offloading these boats. They're just not even working to offload the boats that are piling up with all these goods that then have to be moved. Hopefully, they're not, goods that have any date to them. Usually, perishables don't have. Well, no, I mean, if they're perishables, they're fucked. If they're perishables, they've been out in that water, they're fucked. But anything else, all those other goods, they're just sitting there. They're not offloading those containers. So now the trucker shortage, there's a bunch of truckers just sitting there not working, waiting on containers that are not going to come. So on top of everything, on top of all the other details that are impacting the supply chain, there's that. There's, for whatever reason, they're not even offloading it. Yeah, it is like the "this is fine" meme. That's where we are. This is fine. Everything's fine. And hopefully you can hear this video, the next one, a little bit better. If let's say you're worried about our elites, and I actually posted this video on my community tab. So if you're saying that, this will be familiar. But let's say you are worried about those elites. Like, what are they going to do? If it wouldn't impacting the supply chain impact them directly, surely they would be impacted. Nah, son. This is pretty creepy, honestly. Nothing like seeing those conspiracy theories confirmed. Actually, the same TikTok guy who did this is 5 Stones. I don't know who that is, but let's go. Play, damn it, play. Hopefully you guys can hear it. And again, sorry for any audio issues. He says he's in a big Underground cave system with 25 warehouses. So the elites have their supplies. They're good. Ain't got to worry about us. Can't hear shit. Why can't? Why is the sound fucking up? Jesus Christ, man. So he was in a cave network. I'm gonna just mute this. It's not gonna fucking work. I'll do the damn play by play. This is a cave network of different truckers and different stuff at this warehouse system in Springfield, Missouri. And basically, I don't know why there's this cave network of underground warehouses in Springfield, Missouri. I'm not saying there's not a legitimate reason for this to exist. But if you heard the rumors of an underground cave network that our elites supposedly have, this kind of feeds into us. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyone who knows a little bit more about the Springfield, Missouri area could probably tell me more. But yeah, there's something funky going on there as well. So it looks like the elites, if that's to be believed, do indeed have their supplies, even if we may not get ours. Um, so what do we have? We have a few stories left. We do have a few stories left. Yeah, of course they're prepared. That was the whole. That's what I'm showing. They're prepared. They have their supplies. I apologize about the sound and the issues we had past few videos we just showed, but I'm just trying to show, hey, more about the supply chain madness that's going on. There are reports. There are, we see all these pictures on the news of all these damn boats backed up, and they're not even offloading it. A lot of these containers on top of everything. So this is a nightmare. I say all this not to scare people. I say all this not to black pill people. I'm not doing this show so I can just tell you how bad the world is and jerk off to it. No, I'm doing this to let you know you need to, if you can do any form of prepping on any level now, if you haven't already, for God's sake, please do. Now is well past the time, to be fair. But you should definitely, if you, and I know nothing about prepping, all I got is some extra water and shit, but do something. Get extra supplies, get extra food, get non-perishable food, get extra stuff. Now's the time to stock up. That's the whole, the moral of this story. The moral of this episode is now this time to stock up. And they're giving it a new meaning to eat the rich. Oh boy, hope it doesn't get that deep. Get strapped if you can. Absolutely get your ammunition up. If you can get to the range and make sure your marksmanship is up, please do that. Anything you can do to prep. And I know a lot of stuff has been said, especially the past 20 months, but for goodness sake, now is the time. Now is well past the time. The best time to get prepared was 18 months ago. The next best time is right now. Get yourself a Berkeley water filter, something I should probably do myself. Everything you can do to prep, now's the time. And if you can't do much, something's better than nothing. Please. Take this episode and the current state of our supply chain as a warning. Now's the time to prepare for the worst. Right now. So that's the whole point of this episode, whole point of this show. Oh yeah, definitely get your toilet paper. Get your toilet paper, get your water, get your popcorn ready, get everything. Get your physical media. Get your electronics generator if that's your situation. Get the Tim Pool food buckets. Get the My Patriot supply. Get something. Do some sort of prepping. You have to do some sort of food prepping. You have to do some sort of disaster prepping. Get your batteries. Get everything. Anything you can do to prep, because the supply chain is failing. And it's being sabotaged. It's not just failing naturally like everything else. It's being intentionally sabotaged. So that's my theory about the intentional sabotage. But like I said, we showed, even if the sound didn't work out, we showed the port where they're not offloading these containers, and there's truckers just waiting for containers that won't get offloaded. So there's that. So we talked last week to transition, and this kind of affects it. supply chain because there's a lot of stuff that moves via air. And yes, the system does want us to suffer. This system is evil, and it is trying to affect and impact all of us. All the 8 billion people on this planet. They're trying to destroy the quality of life and really population control a lot of those people, a lot of us. That's the end goal. So we've talked about the supply chain. We've also talked about these COOF mandates and these the vaccination mandates. Well, the gene therapy mandates, not actual vaccination by what that word means. And we talked about Southwest. We talked about last week. There was this mysterious over the weekend, last weekend, a week from this Saturday and Sunday, this past Sunday, a week ago, was these weird outages as far as weird cancellations. Thousands of flights canceled mysteriously for Southwest. And now we see Delta basically saying they're not going to have the mandate. They ditch the Delta Airlines CEO ditches the divisive COVID mandate, marking a 90% employee vaccination rate. He says accommodations will be made for the unjabbed instead of threatening employment. Now this is an interesting thing. And this is why I said if you do not want to get this jab and you face an employment situation, you have to push back. If that's if it's something where that's something you're interested in, we're not here to tell you what to do. I'm not, you think you can tell us what to do? Shout out to DX. No, I don't. I absolutely do not. And I don't think anyone else should be able to tell you what to do either. But the reason I said if that's your goal, if you don't want this, push back, is because eventually, again, we're the stuff that's happening in supply chains happening in a lot of industries. There's only so many people working, and so they can't. I mean, they can't. They can do whatever they want, right? They can make this a police state, which they're probably in the process of doing. But just if you're talking about private companies, they can't do anything if they don't have the work. They don't exist if they don't have workers. So they can only go so far. You have to play this game of chicken with the if that's your thing. If you've already gotten the jab and you're like, listen, I just got it, hope God bless you. I hope you don't need boosters. But you are going to have to play this game of chicken with these companies, and because otherwise you won't push back. So now, because enough people in the Delta Airlines company who work for them have not gotten it, you have the CEO that, despite this 90% mark, he does not want to threaten employees with his employees. He's actually going to push back because he has to push back. It says he has to push back. So let's read the article, and we'll go from there. Delta Airlines, the only U.S. carrier to hold off enforcing a gene therapy mandate for its employees. Ed Bastian, the CEO, reported that's been an effective tactic for gene therapy rates and compliance. The Delta head revealed on the Claman Countdown that the company has reached more than a 90% jab rate and expects to rise another 5% within the next month without a mandate in place. The reason the mandate was put in by Brandon, I believe, is because they wanted to make sure companies had a plan to get their company employees jabbed, because that's what a company should be doing. A month before the president came out with the mandate, we had already had plans to get all our people jabbed, and the good news is the plan is working. Oh boy. Bastian acknowledged there will need to be religious and medical accommodations for those who wish to be unjabbed while avoiding having to threaten employment status. By the time we're done, we'll be pretty close to a fully jabbed company without having to go through the divisiveness of a mandate. We're proving that you can work through collaboratively with your people, trusting your people to make the right decisions and respecting their decisions and not forcing them over the loss of their job. So how about that? Again, that's why you need to push back. I don't know if that 90% rate is accurate. It may be. It may be. A lot of people got the damn jab. So maybe it is. But it's interesting that he doesn't want to push his employees into it. He still wants them to be jabbed, but by no means is he pushing into it and forcing his employees to be, and that's a good thing. Despite a very choppy recovery for the air travel industry, Bastion celebrated Delta's low cancellation rate and overall operational balance. The CEO shared that the company has recorded 116 perfect days, years without cancellations, which is right on par with pre-pandemic numbers. Delta's done a great job all year. Will make certain we're managing supply and demand in equilibrium, where people are doing a good job, logically. So it's an interesting fact that this is why you should push back. Now, I don't. He's saying employees making the right decisions, that this, that, and the third. But it's interesting that you have a company who says we don't really want to mandate, and you're going to see a little bit more of this. You're going to see more companies. We don't really want to mandate because they don't want to stare down the barrel of losing. Let's say this 90% number is accurate. They don't want to lose that 10%. And if every company loses 10% of its workforce, let's say that was the mark for all these companies across the board, that's still impactful. So I think you're going to see more CEOs of more companies who are forced to mandate their employees to be jabbed have some trepidation about it. We've seen some of these unions have trepidation about it, some pushback, and we're going to see more of that because you can't. This has never worked. This has never been the case before in human history. So why the fuck is it now? And oh boy, we got ads now. Shut up, bitch. No, God, no. I'm not trying to. What's going on? All right, Edward Jones. Fuck Edward Jones. But we're going to see more of this. So this is why, if you could push back. Let's see what you guys. System wants us dead. I think they want both. They need at least 500,000 of us to be alive, at least according to those guidestones. Dead and replaced. Well, most of us anyway. Would prep if we could. First, you need a house of your own and money. Yeah. Hey, I don't have a house. I'm in an apartment, so there's only so much prepping I can do myself. But it's just supplies. If you can ever get an extra thing of water, extra thing of some canned goods, extra thing of toilet paper, and stock that away in the closet, stuff like that'll help. Stuff like that will help. Start small if you can. I get it. And a lot of us are not in the financial situation to do much of anything. Just don't listen to such a dildo. He says just get strapped and rob the people you don't like. That's not a good idea. I've already sized up my neighbors. This is not what this show is encouraging. Do not rob your neighbors. Do not listen to such a dildo or Pope True comments. We need LOL, not yeah. First, I knew what you meant. The only one I've got to worry about is the cop across the street, but I outgun him and he knows it. We talk all the time. I see. Got to be able to pull and fire. And he said the president didn't issue a mandate. He issued a press release. It doesn't matter if the companies comply anyway, which is the thing. Lefties don't understand the difference between anti-vax and anti-mandates. Pinheads. I'm not saying anything because technically I'm anti both. Did y'all see after LeBron? They went after LeBron after his jab statement. I did not see that. I did not see that. Exactly the boat I'm in. Yeah, companies don't care. All right, so we've talked about some heavy stuff. Let's talk about, I don't know if it's light, but just something different. Something different. Oh, Rough Girl already has her barbed wire. I have a question for you guys. And you guys can let me know something. And Rough Girl, doing what they do to me. You're the only other black person in the chat, I believe. Unless Fenver's still here. Did you guys know, and I didn't know, did you know Halloween was racist? Did you know that? You knew that. I mean, all those people in blackface. But no, that's not why it's racist. A Halloween parade has been canceled over complaints. It marginalizes people of color. Got the U in there too. This is really Jesus. How much do you want to bet that none of the people that complained were actually that? Or let me just phrase it, because people of color is just white supremacy bullshit. How much you want to bet that All of the people that complained were white. White is the driven snow. How much you want to guess? It's old news to you. So you already knew. I didn't know. I was this many days old yesterday. Maybe it was earlier this morning when I actually found the story. But I was that many days old when I found out that Halloween was racist. And Fish Chozo's back. Hell, Fish Chozo. Appreciate you being back. Seattle, of course, it's Seattle. Of course. Seattle's public school system has canceled a Halloween themed parade because it marginalizes people of color. The phrase people of color marginalizes people of color. According to Just the News, the city's Benjamin Franklin Elementary School ended the tradition following the guidance of the racial equity team. The racial equity team. Why is there a racial equity team? Jesus H. Christ. However, the school still plans on holding an alternate event with more inclusive and educational opportunities during the day. According to a spokesperson, historically, the pumpkin parade marginalizes students of color who do not celebrate the holiday. How? Why do we never need receipts for any of these claims we make? Why? We just can say it marginalizes black people. How? Just walk off. You don't need to explain it. All you need is a thought with blue hair and a nose ring to hold a clipboard and be part of the racial equity team. And since this marginalizes black people, she doesn't need any evidence. She doesn't need a receipt. She doesn't need even a complaint. I have never, there's a lot to be said about Halloween, right? It's a pagan holiday, all this other shit. But racism, that's one thing I have never for the life of me heard until very recently. It's one of those things that you think you'll be done being shocked, done being surprised by some of the crazy ass woke ass claims, but you're not, because you're like, no, this is crazy. This is crazy. Again, and it's unabashedly receiptless. It's literally from the ass of whoever said it with no backing whatsoever. Not even an excuse of backing. The spokesperson also suggested the decision to cancel the parade was based on requests from students to be isolated on campus while the event took place, assuming because the event would be too triggering, even though there's no evidence of any children indicating this, because they didn't. This is completely made up. In alliance with SPS's unwavering commitment to students of color, specifically African American males, yeah, the fuck right, the staff is committed to supplanting the pumpkin parade with more inclusive educational opportunities during the school day. And they'll probably do nothing. So shout out to all the black kids who now can't celebrate Halloween in Seattle because the white people, the white women, have to. It may not be a white woman. I'm being stereotypical for just blaming a white woman because it is not. It doesn't have to be. It could be a mixed girl. I'm sure it's a woman though. I'm sorry. I love women, but you guys are. It's usually you. It's just the reality. So I don't know what's going on. I've never ever heard this. They literally have no receipt. They have no statistic. They have no indication for why they say it's racist. It just is. It just is. Some person in Seattle says it's racist. It's just racist just because. Like in this report, granted it's the post millennial, but I don't even see an attempt to like clarify how that is the case. What makes this uninclusive? What is the, please explain how this is an uninclusive thing. Please break this down to me. Break this down to the molecule. What makes Halloween specifically uninclusive to black men? Because they said this is for African American males. Please break this down to me. Is this because black men are in a mask? Is that what it is? And that's too much like some stereotype that you're coming up. There's not even no comments on this damn thing, is it? Nope. I really wish I knew what made this. I really wish I got an answer. I would love, just give me an just tell me why you think that's the case. And they can't do it. They refuse to. And this is a scary precedent that's been around for a while. Just say something is racist and never have to back it up, and then you could just always go on. Like, yeah, the historically uninclusive Halloween. What? Let's see what you guys have to say. Who's marginalized? Minorities, the one that have been relentlessly protected for you. Oh, we're not going into the. I don't think minorities have been protected. I think it's like what happens is you see you'll see something on the news and then you'll it's very easy to see that and extrapolate it. But like I don't I'm lost on that connection personally. Fun is verboten. White women gonna white women. Yeah, I just assume it's white woman. It's an Irish holiday derived from their old mythology religion. I thought it was pagan. Don't forget these are the same tars that said math is racist. Everything, very true. Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. We have to point it out. Some dumb bitch. Here's Halloween. Me and the fucking mom playing trick on me. Yeah, but yeah, they not trick or treat no more because that's racist. I guess I'm in trouble because I'm dressing up as a slutty Eskimo. Oh boy. If they think black men wear masks, they're gonna rob someone. Absolutely, a tad part of the problem. A tad, a tad bit a part of the problem. But yes, you do rough. I don't know. This is wild, man. This is wild. They're just gonna just constantly make shit up. Just say it's racist, and just not do it. This is going to be another mechanism for destroying all culture. And again, it doesn't require any impact from any minority. To kind of go back to what I was trying to say, and I'm not good at this, even though I've been doing this for a year. Like they're not protecting any minority. BLM didn't protect the minority and use minorities as like a weapon. They don't you actually protect the groups they champion. They actually make their lives worse. Like they're not protect they're purporting to protect different groups. They're purporting to champion different groups, but they're not. The welfare system didn't protect one minority. So that all they're doing is using this shit for division. And in this case, why can't they just say it's budget? This is my thought. It's probably budgetary. They probably can't do it budgetary or don't want to do it budgetary. They can't just say it's budget. Nope. White supremacy. So this is going to be the last thing we cover because we do have to go. This is something interesting. This is we talk a lot about the culture thing. Talk about alternative culture, alternative pop culture, because there's no way we're going to get good entertainment from the mainstream. And there's this company called the Daily Wire. So I'm not a huge Ben Shapiro guy, but they're obviously doing the thing with Gina and hell, Jake D. It's been a long time. Got a lot of people from a long time. But Jake D, man, it's really been a while, man. I hope you're doing good. Used to be on the channel pretty much every weekend back in the days. But I know you've had a lot of stuff going on. So I hope you're doing well, Jake D. They don't give a fuck about minorities. They just use them as a shield for their power grab. That's the point I was trying to make. Besides, I think women outnumber the men and quite a lot in Inuit community. So a slutty Eskimo is a bit redundant. I see. What's up, Jake D? I don't know how Eskimos work. And thanks for that vid on my alma mater earlier. What Colorado State? I feel like I did a video on them. Did I do anything today? Who did I do today? I already forgot what I did today. I know I did a Colorado State video, and I think I posted that earlier. I already forgot all the stuff I posted. I have videos posted for the next few days, and I've already forgotten. And he's exploiting the proletarian. Yeah, Colorado State. Yeah. And we had somebody else in the chat who actually at the very end you see their comment, and they're Colorado State alumni, and they said they were going to let people know about what was going on there. So that was cool to see. And Hail Power Ladies device. Such a dildo. That's the nice Power Lady device. Yeah, thank you to the chat. All right, so Daily Wire. Not a Ben Shapiro guy. Even Matt Walsh, not a big. What's the other guy? Andrew something. They're okay. They're okay. I know this is probably considered to you guys. Maybe this show, this channel itself, could be considered quote unquote conservative commentary. I don't necessarily think that it is, but by the modern quote unquote right left paradigm, it certainly leans anti left. This show, this channel that you're watching. But I myself am not a big fan of the conservative commentary thing. Like, it can be very annoying. I've said my piece about some of the fapping. That's the best way I could put it. I talked about how I actually talked just this Saturday about how so many people were championing Netflix for what they're doing with Dave Chappelle. They're so based, and this is the same company that's just a year from putting cuties on their platform, and a movie that did nothing but sexualize little girls, and it took 650 people. It took a casting call of 650 little girls to fill the role of one of the main characters. Also, only God knows how many girls were in the entire casting call. It's the same company that's so based with Dave Chappelle. They were cool with that. So I'm not for the championing of oh, this person's on my side, therefore. So, but one thing Daily Wire is doing is they're trying to create more stuff. They got the movie. They already did a movie before Gina Carano got involved with their company. They have another one coming up with her. Not one that I'm looking to, not necessarily something I will watch otherwise, but it's still interesting. And now they have a comedy show with Adam Carolla, and Jay Leno, of all people, is going to be one of the first guests. So where I'm still, from the commentary standpoint, not too high on them, not my cup of tea. A lot of things that's in the space is just not my cup of tea. But I am interested in the fact that they are really giving this entertainment thing a go. If we're going to have entertainment, it's not going to be from the established mainstream. So I'm interested in Daily Wire's attempts to be a non-leftist entertainment company. I think we'll see how far they can go. They're as far as major ones that I know of, they're the only ones trying. So let's see what's going on with this Adam Carolla show. It's also something ironic for the Triple Extra OGs who remember the show, The Man Show, that this will now mean that I'm not sure if this is going to be a late night show, but it will actually mean the two alumni of the Man Show are now kind of competing. So that's kind of a cool thing. I missed the Man Show. It was a really fun show. All right. As I said, Adam Carolla announces a new comedy show with the Daily Wire, and Jay Leno is going to be the first guest. The little byline says Daily Wire has been making fresh foray into the cultural landscape, and this spat of offerings reflects the desire to be a major player in that cultural space. The Daily Wire made a stunning announcement on Tuesday at their backstage last week. Tuesday, the backstage live event in Nashville, Tennessee. Adam Carolla will be launching a new comedy show with the Daily Wire platform, and Jay Leno is to be his first guest. And it's also pretty surprising. Jay Leno, I know, it's been some years since he was on TV, but he's still, I would consider a big name. Maybe it's because I'm an old fart. But I still think he's a big name to, as scarlet lettered as conservatism is, you would think he wouldn't want to be doing a show with the Daily Wire, or, the initial guest for a Daily Wire show. But we will see. They said fresh foray into the cultural landscape, and their latest spate of offerings include Carolla's new comedy show, which reflects their desire to be a major player in the cultural space. Daily Wire, co-founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, is one of America's fastest-growing conservative media companies, or media and countercultural outlets for news, opinion, and entertainment. The last one is the interesting thing. I mean, I'm doing the news and opinion thing. We'll see what they do entertainment-wise. Michael knows. I said Andrew. I don't know what I'm thinking. Michael knows. I guess they have a Candace show, a Candace Owens show now. I know Matt Walsh, Daily Wire backstage, as well as the Ben Shapiro show, one of the largest podcasts in the country. Carolla said at the announcement, "We're going to call it a truth gallery because I tend to get fired up on stage by my comedian friends, and I go out and try to do my 10 minutes of stand up at the start. We'll do a quick interview with Jay or whoever the guest is. The comedian podcast added. At some point, we'll pull balls out of the hopper. Now, before the show, everyone writes down one word in a ball, just one word in a single ball, and I go in a hopper and it be like lotto. And the guest will pull out the ball, read the word, and I'll do an improvised stand up on that one word with an assist from the guest. Oh, so he already has some format stuff. He hosts the Adam Carolla show, which was one of the world's it was the most downloaded podcast in 2011. So how about that? And obviously, it's talking about Adam Carolla's No Stranger to Media. He was on Lifeline from 95 to 2005, as well as the TV show version on MTV from 96 to 2000. He was the co-host and creator of the television program The Man Show, which I was a big fan of, and a regular performer on Crank Yankers. He also hosted the Adam Carolla Project. Basically, this is just his history, his credentials. It's just an interesting thing. It's showing that, you know what, they're serious. The Daily Wire is serious about being in this cultural landscape. You got Jay Leno with his Illuminati pose. They're serious for whatever it's worth. I don't know if they're going to be good. That's my thing. The Daily Wire, I don't know if it's going to be good. I'm not a Ben Shapiro guy. I'm not a yes, Girls on Trampolines. I do remember the Girls on Trampolines. Is the Man Show. Yeah, I tend to think something similar. He gets about 70% right. Still, he does love the state. He's a save the republic type. I'm not, and I don't even listen to his content, man. I don't listen to a lot. I don't listen to a lot of this content. The only, and he's is Ripper. The only guy I really listen to is Ripper. Sometimes ABL, and like I get my news now from Young Ripper, ABL, and the Black conservative perspective. So clearly, Black supremacists know. I don't really care what a lot of these people have to say about anything. So I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big rah rah Daily Wire, but I am big on there being an alternative, and I keep pushing for alternatives. I don't think I've dropped the Fish Chozo link. There's quite a few people here. Another Fish Chozo, Goofanoid. That's the name of his project. And actually, I have a short video, kind of pushing people towards this project. Please check out Goofanoid. Please check out that's Fish Chozo's comic book. And speaking of Goofanoid, he is right. Ben Shapiro's trying to replace Hollywood. He's trying to create an alternative. I really can't either. I'm not a big fan of him either since you did though. But we need an alternative, and it's good to see that there are people putting their money where their mouth is. Entertainment needs an AEW, even though not big with AEW because they tried to strike this channel. The only people that have copyright strike me, even though that strike has been gone or removed. But we do need a entertainment alternative. We need Hollywood needs an AEW. I don't know that it's going to be the Daily Wire, and I don't think it'll be the Daily Wire by themselves. But there needs to be other cultural elements that are not so hardcore leftist. My issue with the Daily Wire being that is I'm not looking for some hardcore conservative talk either. I really, what would be nice? Good old fashioned fucking entertainment. Have an entertaining show. Adam Carolla is a funny guy. He can have a very entertaining show. If it is just a conservative circle jerk, I'm not going to watch. I have no interest in watching that. But I am interested in just the fact that it's happening. And I'm glad that somebody's doing it. I wish Daily Wire the best. Let's see what you guys think about it. Male masturbation is shame, while female masturbation is a hard, decent job. What a fucking joke. What's the context of this? Talking about OnlyFans? I'm lost. Simps make me puke. Yeah, me too. Not a fan of Simps. People going to people. Just got the notification. Oh, shit. That video did drop. Shit, I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with myself. Girls on Trampolines. Again, shout out to the Man Show. Yeah, Wookie, me too. No, don't get me too. What did they do to Jimmy? For fuck's sake. Jimmy, was he the guy? It was Jimmy Kimmel. You talking about Jimmy Kimmel? They ruined Jimmy Kimmel. They're completely neutered. Completely neutered. Yeah, it's the show. Lifeline, Love Line. I'm sorry, not Lifeline. Love Line was the show with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. They had a radio show and a TV show. Carolla is base as fuck. Yeah, the people who got to Jimmy obviously didn't get to Adam. Yeah, maybe he didn't take the right oaths. Yeah, I love Ripper. I love Ripper. That's as close as I get to conservative talk. I don't even fuck with Tim Pool. That's not knocking any of the things. I just don't, man. I don't live in this space all day either. I try to get away from it, especially now that I'm doing it so much. Yeah, please support. Appreciate the support. And yeah, please check out Goofanoid. You're welcome, man. Thank you for creating something new. We need people to create new stuff. We need people to create new stuff. That's why I'm covering this. I want people to create new stuff. I want there to be more in the cultural landscape than leftism. I don't want circle jerks. If you're giving me a circle jerk, I'm not going to watch it. But if you're giving me an interesting, funny show, I'll probably check it out. If you like Dr. Drew, he does a podcast on your mom's house. Good show. Never heard of it. Hey Fizz. Exactly Viz. Yeah, exactly. I'm always right. I like Dr. Drew, like Celebrity Rehab. Tim Poo can soak it. Me too. Check me out. Yeah, check out Rough Girl. Put your channel. You're promoting me. Put your channel in the chat because you're doing stuff. I've got to grow together. So everyone, please not only give my friend Fizz Chozo. If you're into comic books, you're into independent comic books, give him check his stuff out. He's trying to get his Indiegogo funded. But check out Rough Girl. She's doing her YouTube thing now. She's done a couple streams. So please give her a sub if and when she posts her own channel in the chat. That'll actually be the end of the show. We're going to get our positive news story in, and then we are going to get on out of here. And I guess let's hope Daily Wire's foray provides something fruitful. Their foray into entertainment provides something fruitful. Let's also hope that they're not alone, because I don't think one can live on bread alone. I think there's got to be a movement of companies and groups and individuals, and maybe some of us who are involved with creating more entertainment, culturally relevant things that are outside this leftist hive mind. Yeah, this book does need more traction, man. I really wish I could. I think Fizz said he was going on with somebody to promote it. So I wish you the best, brother, if I remember correctly. I could not tell you who it was. But it definitely it's an original. The art looks, if you compare that art to the evil, actually, I think I can do it back to back. I want you to tell me straight up, one is produced by a major company. You could do this straight up and down. Open image, a new tab. One is produced by the largest comic creator on earth, largest comic company on earth, and one is made by somebody who's never made comics before. Which one is better? You tell me. Look at these images. Which one's drawn better? You tell me. Even the interiors stuff, where there's a little bit, little different, still more competently drawn than this. Still. Again, Fizz Chozo has no comic book experience. None. And is able to come up with something better than the major company. This is why we need alternatives. This is why we push for the alternatives. And it's not even like close. This isn't even close. Goofanoid looks way better than that. Oh man, try to get in touch with Mandy Summers. Fizz, we got to get you on when you're free. I mean, I don't have that much traction. I can't do that much. I really wish I could. But I mean, the people here, I hope some of the people here like you. And I'm pushing you as hard as I can. That's what she said. But yeah, right? It looks so awesome. It's not even comparable. It's a blowout for the guy who has no comic book experience, as opposed to the biggest comic book company on earth. Supposedly, they're not anymore. But this is Marvel Comics. Marvel fucking Comics, owned by Disney, who's produced comics for 50, 60 years, whatever it's been, maybe 70, maybe close to 70 now. If you count Timely, it's probably close to a buck. There were Timely comics before, and they cannot compete with a guy in his first go. They cannot compete. So I hope Mandy Summers gets back to you. I know a lot of people are busy. I know how busy I am, so I can imagine what channels that are bigger. Captain Marvel looks like she got hit in the face with a shovel. She does. She does. So yeah, cool, Wookie. If you could get my man Fizz shows on Mandy, that would be dope. Cause he needs his stuff promoted. Captain Tardville. We need more cultural elements. That's why I covered the Daily Wire thing. It's not even check out Goofanoid, man. It's a blowout in comparison with that artwork. It's a absolute blowout comparing that artwork to what Marvel can produce. Not that I see Marvel produce some good stuff when they want to. When they don't want to, that's what we get. All right, got to get out of here because we do got that hard out. So, positive story. About a black father. They always shit on us. I don't have any kids, but I'm black. But they shit on black men in a lot of ways, and they particularly black fathers. But this is cool story. We talked about the supply chain shortage. There's also apparently a bus shortage in Ohio. So this dad is taking kids to school in his limo. A father in Ohio is offering to take children to school in his limousine during a statewide bus shortage. Sean Rogers Jr. said his kids almost missed a week of school. Jesus Christ, this society's fucking breaking down due to the bus not showing up. So he decided to offer his limo service to children across the Columbus area. You're telling me the fucking bus just decided to not show up for a week? God damn, this is scary to witness, man. Just the society showing up. But shout out to my man. He has a limo business. Saying these kids need to go to school. Well, the kids need to be educated. Unfortunately, it's not school. But shout out to this guy for figuring something out. Attention Facebook starting next week. I decided to go out and help these Columbus City buses get our kids to school. My kids and others have missed almost a week of school due to their bus not showing up. I'll be traveling all around over Columbus to drop kids out of school. Yes, in the limo if it's okay with parents. I'd rather see them late to school than out here in the streets or behind bars or even in the grave. If your child needs a ride to school, please contact me in our inbox. Help me help our kids. Wow. Dozens of parents, mostly from his Linden neighborhood, responded. The local news reported he took 25 kids to school Monday and 42 the next day. Wow. So he is the bus system in that Linden neighborhood. Jesus Christ. The bus shortage has been affecting students across Central Ohio. Says everyone wants to say, let's help the community, let's stop the violence, that type of stuff. But I feel like a big step in stopping the violence is getting kids to school instead of letting them skip school and get in trouble. I agree with that. That's what Sean Rogers Jr. told the outlet. In the board meeting on Tuesday night, Columbus City School Superintendent Talisa Dixon said that 15 to 20% of the school's drivers called out every day last week. Now there's more. I wonder if there's more to this story. I wonder if there's a certain mandate of a certain medical procedure that is causing these call-offs. But I don't know enough about the Columbus school district and their bus issues to know what's going on. But I do know, shout out to Sean Rogers Jr. for saying, I'm not about to let these kids just be out here in these streets. But grab this limo that I got a limo business and don't nobody need a limo at 7 a.m. So I'm about to help these kids get to school. So shout out to my man taking this initiative and getting kids to school. And absolutely he should charge this fucking city. He really should. He really should charge the city. Because that's fucking crazy, man. That's really crazy. And everything is going to shit. And as far as Wookie, shout out to Fish Chozo. And shout out to Wookie hopefully helping. But yeah, he says, don't hold your breath, though. I'm only a Wookie. And I got to see what I can do. I don't know what I can do. I'm just a vigilante, so not much better. But there's got to be a way that I can help you. I wish I was ever, like I said, I was a mod on Sweetcast. But I don't think he knows me from Adam. So that's neither here nor there. But this has been a pretty cool episode. I want to thank everybody for joining, man. We talked about a lot of shit. I feel like every day I'm talking about how fucked up the world is. And it's cool to see some, people trying to change things. for what we can, but society is breaking down. And this is very scary to see where society is breaking down to this extent. And yeah, just another red shirt. You do have a pretty big connection. Shout out to them about it. But yeah, anything we can do to help Fizz Chose or anything we can do to help independent creativity, independent creators, we need to do. So let's time to hit the music. Hopefully it's not too loud because sometimes it can be too loud. Let's just a little bit. I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank Justin of the Red Shirt. He's not just another red shirt, he's the red shirt. Sentient Dildo, for being a Sentient Dildo. Pope Chewbacca Cabras, aka Wookie, for being a Wookie. Let the Wookie win. Fizz Chozo. Who else was here? A lot of people were here. Rough Girl. Shout out to one Rough Girl, or just Rough Girl now. Not only is she doing the mind thing super serious, she has her own channel. So please check out Rough Girl's channel. Just like when we get to it, I'm going to have you check out Goofanoid from Fizz Chozo. It's a project he's working on, and I hope it gets funded. There was a lot of other people. I know Morgan Holloway was here. This is Goofanoid. Please check out Goofanoid. Jake D. Hell, Jake D. I'm glad I got Jake D. Used to stream with him a lot, and I hope I can stream with him in the future. He's got a lot of stuff going on, though. Shout out to Jake D. Who else was in the chat? I showed Morgan Holloway, and I show her. Where'd she go? Technically, it's a couple. Yeah, it's Morgan Holloway. And I know Finra was here earlier. Here's Finra the Ice Wolf. And I think that's everybody. If it's not, I think Bryce Day was also here for a little bit. All Thinker. Oh man, I just missed All Thinker. Where'd he go? All Thinker, where are you? Okay, I can't find you. I'm sorry. Please blame my head, not my heart. If you like the video, there's all. No, that's just me. If you like the video, please. There you go. There's All Thinker, aka Noble Iro. Alrighty. And what about Gary? We love Gary. We love Gary. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. Thank you. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more shit about how crazy this world can get. I will see you guys later. Peace.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.